Hello, hello. This is Queen Mother, and we are on.
Todo este parte de un plan. Esto es matarte con flow animal. Esto es para comerse este pan. Muévete al ritmo del bam, bidi bam. Bam, bidi bam, bidi bidi bam, bam.
Well, hello, everybody. This is Queen Mother with Queen Mother Speaks. Here we are once again, live at 5 p.m. Kenya time, 2 p.m. Ghana time, 9 a.m. New York time, and 6 a.m. California time. Welcome to Wonderful Wednesday. We are still in the beginning of our fourth year of Queen Mother Speaks, even though we're in the third month going into the fourth year. Just want you to know by July, we will be celebrating 4 years of Queen Mother Speaks podcast. I'd like to give a shout out right now to Jennifer Sosu, who is in Florida, Kathy King, Rosemary Johnson, who is in Atlanta, Georgia. Both Donna and Coach Ra may or may not be in the house today. You know something? When I first started this show and my co-host couldn't be here, oh, Queen Mother got very frazzled. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do. Well, then you know what? One day I decided, well, thank you, Lord. At least we're here. And you've given us a voice. So we'll say what we can say. So if our co-hosts come in today, that's great. And if they don't come in today, that's still great. This is still the Queen Mother Speaks show. I want to say hello to all of our viewing audience. We're glad to be with you. Thank you to all of the faithful fans. Abimbola out of Atlanta, Tina Jones, Ernestine, Marie Powell, High Priestess Sayshot, Melissa Camp, Carmen and Michelle, all our great friends out of Atlanta, Georgia. You can tune into Queen Mother Speaks just by clicking on facebook.com/ Queen Mother Speaks or youtube.com Queen Mother Speaks. Hit that like, share, comment button. Let us know that you're out there. You know, something wonderful happens while I'm in here in Kenya. Often I'll go to the supermarket and I'll see somebody and they'll say, "You had a good show today, Queen Mother." I said, "Really? Did you see it?" And they said, "Yes, I did." I said, "But oh, you didn't give us a comment or a like or a share." And they laugh and they may just walk away. So we'd like it very much if you would tune in with us today and let us know that you, in fact, are there. Okay, so the guest we have on the show today would be Coach Ra, who was going to bring us a piece on mental health and the arts as we are still in the month of Black History. And Nana was coming on and bring us the piece on slavery and the trauma of being in slavery. Neither one of the ladies have shown up so far today, so Queen Mother's going to move forward in talking with you and to you about Black history. But before we go there, what is this thing that we're calling Queen Mother Speaks? Hmm? Well, Queen Mother Speaks is a community platform for wealthy conversations that matter. We like to give you commentary and insights to raise awareness, to inform, to inspire, to ignite, involve, enlighten you. We want to educate you. We even want you to laugh on the Queen Mother Speaks show and give you updates on how to expatriate to Africa. Then, before shutting down, we give you words on newsworthy events, wisdom from the elders, and warm, witty dialogue with our guests. Thank you again for tuning in to the Queen Mother Speaks show. We're going to ask you to remember to continue to wash your hands and be safe. Not because the government says so, but because it makes sense to do so, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Yeah, it makes sense to do that. Okay, as we've spoken in the past to you, during the season of pandemic, Queen Mother learned a little bit about breath work or the Art of Living Institute. And from the Art of Living Institute during the pandemic, I learned a little bit about breathing because I had so many friends and family members, looks like they were dying every week. So I didn't know what to do. But one of the things I was able to do to control myself, to control my being upset and my grieving over those who left us during the pandemic season is I learned a little bit about breathing. And I've learned that breathing, that breath, is very powerful. And it can do a lot to you and for you. So right now I'm going to be with you on something that I learned from the Art of Living Institute. And pretty much that was how to breathe. So right now we're going to go into one of our breathing exercises. And the way we do it is simply like this. We breathe in through our nose, the count of six. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We hold to the count of six. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we exhale through the nose or through the mouth very slowly, very slowly. So once again, the directions are 6, 6, and 10, very slowly. Are we ready? Okay, I'm ready too. Let's go. Hold. Okay, let's try it again. Breathe in. Okay, we're going to do one more. And on this one, I'm going to ask you to really get into it. Okay? Really get into it. And let's do our third breathing breath. Ready? Let's go. You know, I've even used breathing when I've been upset and crying. When you start breathing, when you're upset and crying, it will calm your nerves. All right? And I hope that you were able to touch your inner peace through the breath work that we just did. We know for a fact that breathing exercises can reduce stress because what it does is it increases your oxygen exchange. And that in turn will lower your blood pressure. It will slow the heart and it will also release some of the tension. So thank you for being with us throughout the breathing exercise. Now, in this moment, we're going to go to our meditation. And I want you to listen with your heart. I'm going to repeat the topic 3 times, and then we'll do the work. Excuse me, this is one of our hosts calling during showtime. Just one moment. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful, yeah, the show has started, and I'm online right now. I sent it to your, I sent it to your WhatsApp. Okay, I've got to jump off. God's love gives me joy. God's love gives me joy. God's love gives me joy. I am one with my good, while what I have may not seem like much to some or much to others. I'm blessed. I am thankful to enjoy all that I have. My inner joy attracts more love to me. I know that this joy that I have did not come from someone else. This peace that I have found comes from the love inside of me, a supreme love that gives me joy no matter what may come my way. I am joyful and I am joyfully blessed. I appreciate who I am, and the love I give is genuine. I have a love, a joy, and a peace that goes beyond human understanding. I seek and choose to see my world as peaceful. My world is loving. My world is joyful. With so much joy in my heart, I find out that I have a lot of love to give. Thank you, love, in me, as me, through the Christ within, and so it is. And our scripture reading for today is I have spoken these things to you, that my joy may be in you, that your joy may be full. St. John's 15:11. Thank you so much for being with me through the reading. I'm trying to take a look here. I see we put a figure on the screen. I'm trying to see if Nana can, if she can remove that. Let's see. Okay. Okay. In the realm of spirituality, February amplifies the energy of love. It's encouraging for us to deepen our connections with others and ourselves. It is a time to reflect. It's also a time to think about the importance of compassion, forgiveness, and kindness in our interactions with those around us. So, the spiritual meaning of February is deeply rooted in themes of purification, transition, and introspection, reflecting its historical and cultural significance. This alone crosses various traditions. This month, often seen as a bridge between winter and spring, symbolizes a period of cleansing and preparation for new beginnings. Now remember, we're just a few months out of the brand new year. And here we are in the second month. Well, actually, we're in the third month of the year. We're actually in the month of March. And for the month of February, which is where we took our reading from, it definitely deals with cleansing and purification. Thank you for that. Let me say hello to Nana, who is controlling the chat room. And right now, she's put up a flyer. I'm going to ask her if she would be willing to take that flyer down because it's covering up the entire screen. Okay, just all right. What do I want to do with you? It's hard for me to speak and talk all at the same time, but let me see here. Let me see what we can do here. Ooh, just one second. I'm sending off something to someone who said that they didn't receive. So let's see what happens with that. Okay, so we've sent that link. So oh, there we go. The picture has come back. Thank you for that, Nana. This year, February is a celebration of Black History Month with the theme African Americans and the Arts. We find that the art is infused with African, Caribbean, and the Black American lived experiences. Indeed, indeed, Black History Month is infused with a lot of cultures mixing and intermingling together. The Association for the Studies of African Life and History shares this with us. By the way, that organization, the Association for the Study of African Life and History, are the ones who put together the whole information in keeping up with Black History Day, Black History Week, Black History Month. Okay? African American art is infused again with American, Caribbean, and the Black American art in the fields of visual, performing arts, literature, language, folklore. Hey, did you also know film and music, architecture, culinary, and other forms of cultural expression is what we will see and what we will do. So our American artists have used art to preserve history, as well as to commemorate some of our memories, as well as to give us what we call empowerment. Huh? Artistic and cultural movement such as the New Negro, the Black arts, and the Black Renaissance, hip hop, Afrofuturism, they've all been led by people of African descent, and they've set the standard for what we're calling popular trends around the world. In 2024, this year, we're going to examine some of the various history and life of African American arts and the artists. Okay, looks like Nana's coming into the studio. Let's see.
I am here. Greetings.
Oh, go
I've
ahead.
been here the whole time. I was doing the comments from on your Facebook page.
Okay,
So,
okay,
greetings,
thank you.
everyone. How are you today? Thank you for tuning in to the Queen Mother Speaks show. I've got company here with me, as you can hear
We
the
hear the
baby saying
company.
hello. So,
Oh,
I'm going to mute my
that's
mic.
a young man saying hello to his queen mother today. That's what's happening.
Yes, he heard your voice and started talking as wonderful children do when they hear familiar voices they love.
Very good. All right. From trailblazers to inventors, Olympians and politicians, numerous Black historical figures have left their marks on American history for many decades. Unfortunately, though, a lot of our accomplishments are unsung and under acknowledged. I know that. Most African Americans I know that. Some of you may not know that. But we want to say to you that many of our marks have been left unacknowledged. Absolutely. Unacknowledged. Okay? Um, our achievements were silenced under the weight of slavery and the weight of Jim Crow segregation laws. Despite the ugly side of history and its racial divide, African Americans have still managed to pave the way for historical landmark moments, even today. From laying down the blueprint for safety measures that you use every day, for example, like the elevator, like the traffic light, to the diversity that we can now watch on television. Black history is rich, very rich in America. So, in honor of Black History Month, here are some well known little facts that you may or may not be aware of. But before we start talking about those facts, I want to back up for a moment and say to you, please forgive Queen Mother Speaks and please forgive Queen Mother. Last week we had power outages whereby trees were uprooted, roofs came off of homes, and the power lines, the trees fell into the power lines. So a huge area was out of connection. And no matter how far I go in Kenya last week to connect, everybody was down, everybody was out. So I want to thank Coach Rakaya for posting the notice into the Queen Mother Speaks site last week that we were not live on the air in this 2024 year, again, due to power outages and things out of our control. We thank you for coming back in and tuning with us again today. We thank you for that. We thank you for that. We thank you for that. Now, some facts about African American history. Dr. Carter G. Woodson, known as the father of Black history, he started the first Negro History Week in the year 1926. Would you believe that? He started it in 1926, and he did it to ensure that the students would learn more about Black history and, of course, their own history. And it grew into Black History Month, which then started in the year 1976. So, again, Negro History Week, the very first one, 1926. Black History Month came into existence in the year 1976. So William Tucker is a man who was the first known Black person to be born in the 13 colonies. He was born near Jamestown, Virginia in the year 1624. His parents were known as indentured servants, and they were part of the first group of Africans brought to colonial soil by, guess who? Great Britain. By Great Britain. How about that? In 1634, his parents, this is William Tucker, his parents participated in the establishment of Elizabeth City, County, Virginia. Now, that's over near the city of Hampton. All right, another fact you may not be aware of. On July 2nd, in 1777, Vermont became the first colony to ban slavery. Vermont's legislature, they agreed that abolishing slavery was entirely and also moved to provide full voting rights for African American males. Ah, educator and abolitionist Miss Lucy Stanton. Lucy Stanton. Miss Lucy Stanton, she was the first Black woman to graduate from college. She completed a ladies' literacy program and graduated from the Oberlin College in the year 1850. Her commencement speech was an appeal for anti-slavery. All right, another point Queen Mother would like to point out to you today. Allensworth. Have you ever heard of Allensworth? Hmm? Well, Allensworth is the first all-Black Californian township. It was founded and financed totally by African Americans. It was created by Lieutenant Colonel Allensworth in the year 1908. The town was built with the intention of establishing what we were looking at that time, a self-sufficient city where African Americans could live their lives free of prejudice. Check this out. That was the year 1908, where they were saying that we were this all-Black California township that was built by African Americans, and with the intention, with the sole intention of establishing a self-sufficient city where African Americans could live. What does that sound like to you? Are you aware of other movements where African Americans have tried to establish homeships in other cities or other states? Are you aware of any? What about African Americans who took their flight and went across the water and went over to the motherland, again, seeking for a place to be where they could be free? We're going to be talking on that. The first all-Black California township. There's been a few, and the truth of the matter is that most of the townships that we have established, for whatever reason, people have found reason to put them aside. Whatever townships we've established, people have found reason to burn them down, or people have found reason to kill the people so that they couldn't exist. Okay? Looks like Coach Ra is trying to come into the studio. We'll see what happens. Another Black History Point fact for you. Cathay Williams was the first and only known female Buffalo Soldier. Do you know about the Buffalo Soldiers? Do you know who they are? Do you know what they did? And I wasn't aware that there were any ladies involved with the Buffalo Soldiers. But the very first lady, Miss Cathay Williams. Okay, she was born into slavery. She worked for the Union Army during the Civil War, and she posed as a man and enlisted as William Cathay in the 38th Infantry. How about that? That was the year 1866, and she was given a medical discharge in 1868. So what can you tell me about women? Don't tell me women aren't smart. You see, you had a woman dressing as a man so that she could fight in the war. And she was the very first woman to do that. She was the first African-American Buffalo Soldier. Hello, Coach Ra is now in the house. Hello, Coach. How are you?
Greetings, peace, and blessings to everyone. Thank you so much. I apologize for all the technical challenges that I was having this morning. I was trying to find my notes from last week because in there you gave me a few anecdotes about mental health, but I didn't find it. I'm fine. Back to you, Queen.
Okay, Coach, we have sent you the information on mental health twice. So just take a look in your script if you have it. It's the last week, remember? Remember we weren't on
I'm
air
good.
last week because of the storm? It's the
I'm
same
good.
script.
I am ready to present. Thank you so much.
Okay, then we're going to finish with a few more of these uh, African American facts that we think that you probably don't know anything about.
Okay.
Inventors, African American inventors. Mr. George Crumb Speck, a chef and restaurant owner, is said to have created the potato chip by accident. It was during the summer of 1853. However, his sister Kate, she claimed that she actually created the potato chip after a potato slice fell into a hot frying pan. Okay, now these people lived in an area of New York that was called Saratoga, and they created the first known potato chip as we know it today. Okay, and his chips remain a local delicacy in New York for a very long time, a very long time. Okay, there was a particular salesman in New York who would get some of those potato chips from Mr. Crumb, and that salesman would travel into other places in America, and he took those chips with him. He took them to a place called the South, right? And he met this gentleman by the name of Mr. Herman Lay. So guess what Mr. Lay did? He was able to take that potato chip and perfect it. And because he was a man who also had, he was a man of means, not only did he perfect the potato chip, he came out with the brand Lays, Lay's potato chips. He traveled throughout the South and selling those potato chips. And that's probably where you and I got to find, taste, and understand what it was all about. We're going to do maybe two more on these Black History facts. And I want to talk about a gentleman by the name of George Washington Carver. You may have heard of him before, but he was responsible for developing over 300 products made from the peanut. I'm going to say that again. George Carver was responsible for creating over 300 products from, you got it, you got it. He was able to do that from the peanut. So, what are some of the products that were created? Milk, flour, ink, soap, medicinal oil, cosmetics, and he created over 118 products from the sweet potato as well, including again using the sweet potato, flour, vinegar, ink, and postage stamp glue. How do you like those? How do you like that? Was that a hand? Was that a hand? Were you raising your hand, dear? Okay. Okay. So we're gonna. Okay. I want to say these three things, and then we're gonna go to the second half, which is the presentation of African American in the arts and the effect of the arts and guess what? Mental health. Coach Ross here. She's going to give us that in just a few minutes. A quote from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. We have learned to fly the air like birds and swim the sea like fish, but we have not learned the simple art of living together as brothers. Our abundance has brought us neither peace of mind nor serenity of spirit. Dr. Martin Luther King. Another quote from one of my favorite people in the world. He who is not courageous enough to take risk with accomplishment will accomplish nothing in life. I'll say that again. He who is not courageous enough to take risk will accomplish nothing in life. And that was stated by none other than Muhammad Ali. The third and final quote for today is, for to be free is not merely to cast off your chains, but to live in a way that respects and enhances the freedom of others. And who is that person? Nelson Mandela. Ladies and gentlemen, I just realized something after reading these three quotes for you. These three gentlemen, Each one of them have made their transitions. As my husband, Chief Tugby, would say, they traveled to their final ancestral village. All three of them, Martin Luther King Jr., Muhammad Ali, and Nelson Mandela. Grandmother is very happy to say that I was able to meet each one of these gentlemen while they were alive. And we'll give you that story another day. Thank you for that. Thank you, thank you, thank you for that. Okay, right now, once again, we're going to ask you to please like, share, comment. Thank you for tuning in to the Great Mother Speak Show. We're going to continue. Coach Ra is in the house, and we're very happy that she's here. And so, what we're going to do now is to have, yes, Coach Ra.
Oh, I'm just saying happy, happy.
Okay, so we're turning it right over to you right now, and she's going to be speaking with us about African American and the arts and the effect of arts on our mental health. Take it away, Coach Rob.
Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon. I'm trying to get this lighting right, and it's not working very well. And I hope that you can see something of me. But I am going to be speaking to you about one of the most critical, important challenges and issues that is affecting African Americans uh, in America due to the transatlantic post-traumatic stress uh, syndrome and the duress and the inequality and the disparity and the social challenges that we faced since supposedly we were freed from slavery. And what I want to mention to you right now is that you're not the only ones facing that disparity, that inequality, the injustice, the inability for one to self determine their own destiny, to live a life free from worry, free from distress, free from harm, free from being killed. And so it is no wonder that in America and around the global world, particularly in the USA, one of the most industrialized societies in the global world, has the highest amount of folks suffering from mental illness.
Why is
Um,
that, Coach?
okay, so it's a lot of the reasons that I mentioned earlier, but I'm going to give you the definition of what a good healthy person does, and then we're going to dissect mental illness from my perspective, uh, and by some of the books that I've read, particularly
Okay.
Infectious Madness by Harriet Washington. And I want you to post that. I sent you a couple of notes to post up. Anyway, after I'm done dealing with mental illness, you will have ample enough resources because I've taken the liberty to post it on every page that I have a handle on, including Instagram, resources and avenues to learn more about mental health and to be able to
Mm.
identify mental illness and to be able to do something about it, to reach out, to help, reach out and touch somebody's hand, make this world a better place. Reach out and touch somebody's hands, make this world make, yeah. Well,
Yeah,
anyway,
I was trying to hum with you, sister.
I know, but reach out and touch somebody's hands, make this
This
world a
world a
better
better
place
place
if you
if you
can.
can.
Yeah.
All right.
So let me give you something. Uh I wanted Queen to play Howard Silver. How much does matter really matter? Because to me, one of the major uh, uh, damages that causes mental illness is when they decided to up the stake on capitalism, and to up the stake on everyone becoming or seeking material acquisition. Mental health, a state of emotion and psychological well-being in which an individual emotional capabilities function in society and meet the ordinary demands of everyday life. I'm going to repeat this again. Mental health is a state of emotional and psychological well-being in which an individual emotional capabilities function in a society and meet the ordinary demands of everyday life, and I may have facing reality as it is and not imagining that which you want it to be.
Uh-huh.
Facing reality as it meets you in the eye and not putting nothing extra or taking away or diminishing the reality that it is. Therefore, the opposite will denote mental illnesses such as mental dissonance, total spiritual disconnect from one's God self, inability to love, to accept self, i.e., realities as it presents itself, and the inability to forgive, to let go. Post traumatic traumas, we must address those through counseling, talking with the pastor, um, doing your work, as Ian Levanzan would say. We must do the work in order to keep a mental equilibrium, a balance. It's a teeter totter
Mm-hmm.
because, in my opinion, all of us have a little touch of a, you know, going over the edge. Anxiety, societal extreme duress, depression, bipolarism due to external factors such as self medicating from pain, self medicating, alcoholism, drugs, over the counter medication, prescription drugs, food, uh, anything that is used excessively in order to find relief of some kind. And 99.9% of the time, at the moment that you have tried that drug or the alcohol and gotten high, you will never ever again reach that zenith point. And so there begins the addiction, chasing the chase, chasing that which you felt initially that you will never experience again. And there becomes a dependence upon drugs and alcohol and food and so forth and so on, aside from trying to numb the extreme
Mm.
pain that one faces within this existence, or that one faces through disappointment, or what one faces through resentment, or one faces through anger, or
Mm-hmm.
one faces through irritability, which connects to the foods that we eat. Because if you're diabetic, one of the side effects is irritability.
Mm.
irritability. Uh, Another side effect is OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. They just go to the left. And I'm not a psychologist, but let me share something with you. I have suffered from time to time with depression. At sometimes it has been extreme where I just cannot take it anymore. I
Mm.
have considered suicide when the rainbow was enough, but by the love of God and by my fasting and by my urging and seeking God to help me out of this mess, time and time again, I have been able to get up out of my bed and take the next step. Secondly, during COVID, I was very extremely depressed because I had to walk away from my job for circumstances beyond my control. And that shortened my vision of my dream of what I wanted to do because, as you know, I want to travel. And so it was Queen Dashanava that called me when Sister Raya was doing her breathing technique, Institute for Living, Institute for, Dosh, what's
For
the name of
living.
the
That's it, the
Institute?
Institute for Living.
Institute for Living
Yeah, art of
and
living. Yeah,
the Art of Living. And
yeah.
Ray, she showed us how to do the straw breathing. And to my amazement, I felt exhilaration. I felt relieved. I felt as if everything that was bothering me had disappeared. And so it was then that I got I became alive again. Doing this show, Dashanara feels that I have been doing her a favor, but in reality, uh, if we're to be transparent, the show did me a favor because
Ah,
we're all here to serve and to make this world a better place. And
mhm.
if you feel as if you're not contributing and you're not being of service, then what is the purpose of living? And so this platform, Queen Mother
Mm.
Speaks, afforded
Thank
me
you for that.
the ability to take my gifts, everything that I had stood up 3 to 4, 5 in the morning when the sun rise, that I was reading and studying. It has afforded me a platform, a base in which to share
Uh-huh.
and perhaps help somebody or someone or us all to seek the help that we need through reconnecting with the God self, through forest bathing, through self care, self love, self healing, to take responsibility and accountability for ourselves, to be kinder, more caring, and more giving towards one another, to revere each other, to really revere each other, and to stop looking at people as commodities as opposed to human beings. We're not a commodity. Stop trying to see me as a number in your numbers and see me as a unique, unrepeatable individual As I see you, for you are divine. If I am divine, and whatever you think about me is none of my business, Joyce Whitaker. Whatever you think about me is none of my business. I am
Mm,
unique, unrepeatable. And therefore, that which I bring to the table is that which infinite intelligence has blessed me with. Let's get back to this issue of fair. F. E. A. R. False evidence appearing real.
mm,
Ego. G. O. Easing God out.
ooh,
Ubuntu. Ubuntu equals I
you.
am because we are, not I am because I
All
am.
right.
The diversity
All
of my
right.
personality, my physical structure, my total, my moral thoughts, processes, all express the beauty of God. I see you, therefore you see me. Ubuntu, I
Ah,
see you, therefore you see me. I see us,
mhm,
therefore we see each other.
mhm.
I want to throw out a couple of words that has become the pin words. I remember like 10 years ago picking up a Times magazine and they were talking about the age of isolationism. And it talked about how people were choosing to be alone, choosing not to actively engage with family members, with the community, uh,
Mhm.
choosing not to be involved. And that was one of the causes that would ensue mental illness.
Mm. Okay.
Seeing things as commodities and not as real people, disconnecting from God, disconnecting from the community, disconnecting from yourself by not being on purpose, which means being of service and being of service and doing something good for someone else. And I remember in 1999 or 2000 when Dr. Barber got up and preached about getting out of your head, getting out of
Mhm.
your head and being of service. And I'm gonna tell you, at the moment that I began to be more of service than of working and taking, that's when I began to feel healthy and whole because I began to change my modus operandus. I began to give. I began to be of service. I began to be actively engaged with the church. I remember being on the scholarship committee, the hospitality committee, the book club committee. I mean, uh, dealing with my children in the Sunday school, going away on trips with my children for Youth of Truth. I got involved. I was still broken, but I left that behind and moved ahead for the promises of the future and the present because it
Mhm.
being involved keeps you here and now and grounded. We are
And that
the
is so true,
diversity.
and that is so wonderful, and that is so real. Coach, we're getting close to closing time for today. We have about 12 minutes. Are we
Oh
going to
my,
do any
I'm not.
mentions today?
What did you say?
Are we going to do any mentions, any announcements today?
Well, I haven't even been through half of my presentation. So why don't we continue this? What I want, let me in closing, let me say art is one of the most utilized technique in dealing with mental illness because art connects you to yourself. Art connects you to God. Art, um, clay, molding the clay, um, stencil, sketching, crocheting, needlepoint, uh, making quilts, art, and I have seen it being utilized does help with mental illness. And I'll continue this further on next week. I also
No,
want to
no, no, no,
mention,
no. Next week we're going into
oh, I'm
we
sorry,
got to
I'm
go into
sorry.
Women's
Well,
History Month.
I will
This is the
continue.
first week of Women's History Month, and we're finishing up Black History. So next week
I
we
will
will definitely be
continue.
into
Okay,
Women's History Month.
okay, this is what I need you to do because to
Yes,
me,
please.
this topic is very, very critical. I want you to go on my page. I want you to get the 1-800 number. If you know anyone or if you believe that you may be thinking in committing suicide, there's a lot of information from the CDC, a lot of good information from the government, and a lot of good African American resources that I have posted as it relates to mental health. Mental health is a very serious disease, and there's a high rate of teenage youths from the age of 13 to 25 that are committing suicide at an alarming rate. And we will need to revisit this subject because all of us need to take a class in how to identify mental illness and what to do
Okay.
in any given situation. Back to you, Queen. Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much. We're just going to move forward with the last few minutes we have in the show today. We're going to talk a little bit about what we call our announcements. You can vote remotely. You can request your global primary ballot on our special votefromabroad.org primary page. Votefromabroad.org primary page. You can go there and request for your ballot. But guess what? We mother want to state that this weekend, this Saturday in Nairobi, Kenya, meet us at the Shamba Cafe in Loresho, where we will be having a vote in person. That's right, this weekend, Saturday, you here in Kenya, you can come out and vote in person at the Shamba Cafe, Loresho. That's from 9 to 5 p.m. Queen Mother will be there. I look forward to seeing you. Come on out, cast your vote, meet some other fellow Americans, and guess what else you can do with that? You can get to know more about voting and know who people in Kenya are that are fellow Americans, and that there are also people who are voting. So join us at the Loreto Cafe on Saturday from 9 to 5. Okay. All right. So, vegetarian restaurant, good to you and good for you. To order, call 0742 654 810. So Vegetarian also has cooking classes as well that you can engage with. If you may remember, Queen Mother normally hosts a cooking class at the Soul Vegetarian restaurant once a quarter. So if you're interested in learning how to cook more healthy, get in touch with Queen Mother. Lucille's Kitchen, sweet potato pie, and other mouth-watering treats. Call 0732 567 327, Lucille's Kitchen. Miss Aisha Defala, who is Kenya's blood ambassador, reminds us to please visit the depository bank near you and donate blood. That's right. April is considered the global blood donor month. And so Miss Aisha will be here with us in April for that. And right now we're reminding you to get ready to go to the blood banks and donate blood because we all need it. Everybody, everywhere in the world. Self-healing challenge for 6 months with Coach Rock from January to June. Okay, she has a program where you can learn more about self-healing for yourself. You can contact her at 0001 346 244 7887. And that's about the self-healing challenge for 6 months. All right, BP Suma. BP Suma. These are supplements that are available for you. You can purchase them by calling 0796-509-965. We also have a diabetes peer support group. It's on a right now. They're on a 7-day raw foods challenge. Okay, and you can contact Coach Ron for that again. Okay, the recent disaster in Ghana, West Africa, has wreaked havoc on countless lives, leaving families displaced. There's been properties destroyed, and even our basic needs have been compromised. So we are asking you to please donate with us for the flood victims in Ghana. The M-Pesa number would be plus 254-1133-14224. That again would be 254-113-314-224. You can also go to GoFundMe. You can go to the GoFundMe page. Okay, GoFundMe. You can go to the GoFundMe page. Okay, Black History Month celebrations we've completed. Thank you again. Yes,
Queen Dashanaba, may I mention something?
yes,
There will be
sure.
a pre-Mother's Day holistic retreat to be held March the 3rd through March the 5th in North Carolina mountains on the farmland of Dr. Paul Goss, Rip. His wife, Lavanya, will be hosting us. The
Okay,
deposit is due March the 15th, 2024. And if that is not received, the retreat will be canceled. So I just wanted to throw that out there that the
okay.
deposit is due, which is 250 dollars US dollars, um, on March 15th, 2024, and the final payment is due April 5th, 15th, 2024. And let me say this is a perfect opportunity for anyone who would like to visit America. They could get an invitation letter and be able to utilize that as an entry point. Hint, hint.
Ah,
So, uh, the holistic retreat will be held March the 3rd through March 5th, 2024. And there will be two plant-based meals offered, breakfast and dinner, because during the daytime, folks might want to leave and venture out. We will be talking
all
more about
right.
that. Thank you, Queen.
Very well.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
for
Thank
that.
you.
We're going to make mention of a few Women's History Month activities that are happening, and we're going to start out with the activities right here in Nairobi, Kenya. In fact, on Friday at 10 a.m. at the National Museum, please check us out at the National Museum for exhibition, for an exhibition from Bobby Paul. It will be a photographic exhibition. So please, you can check that out at the National Archives Museum on this Friday, 10 a.m. in Nairobi, Kenya. All right. We also want to say Women's History Month will be on Friday, 10 a.m. at the National Museum, but also the Women in Business will be giving a Women's History Month event also on Friday. On Sunday, March 10th, please join me and others for Women's History Month celebration. And also, we'll be celebrating Queen Mother's birthday. We'll be having a birthday party. Now, here's the deal with the party. We are going to have a good time. If you haven't practiced, practice the Jerusalem dance because we're going to be throwing down. But there will be cake for everyone. Please come out and enjoy birthday with us. And the one request that Queen Mother has for her birthday is that you will make a donation to the Ghana flood relief. That you will make a donation to the Ghana flood relief. So simply go to GoFundMe, GoFundMe, Ghana Flood Relief, Volta Region. GoFundMe, Ghana flood relief, Volta region. All right, we're about reaching the 6 o'clock hour, and we just want to say that on the Queen Mother Speak show next week, we will be bringing you for Women's History Month none other than Diva Denise Gordon herself. Diva Denise Gordon herself. We intend to bring her in next week for Women's History Month. To each of you, we're going to end the show with where we always do by sending love into the world because we believe that love is the most healing force. No matter what it is you're going through, love will save the day. Are you ready, Rob? Are you ready, Coach Rob?
Yes.
Starting with our left hand. Okay, our right hand. And then before we throw out this love with both hands, before we do both hands, I want to say hello to Nana. Thank you, Nana. We love you. We bless you. We appreciate you, Nana. And we thank God for you. Let's finish with that last kiss of love. Let's go. Thank you so much.
Where is not? Where is Donna?
Tune in next week to the Queen Mother Speak Show, live at 5 p.m. Kenya time, 2 p.m. Ghana time, 9 a.m. New York time, and 6 a.m. California time. This is Queen Mother Speaks. Thank you. We'll see you next week for the entire month of March with great Women's History Month programming. Thank you.